90% of companies make decisions on incomplete data, which means they lose before a campaign even starts. If you look at competitors only through public pages and shallow metrics, you're not seeing the market, you're seeing its shadow. Competitive analysis in 2025 isn't a price table or a few ad screenshots. It's access to live geo-specific data, prices by country, search rankings, ad creatives, and catalog changes. Today, we'll break down why most companies lose at competitive analysis and how the teams that collect complete data fix it. You're on the Proxy-Seller channel. I'm Mark, and we talk about how data really works in business. Most companies think they're doing competitive analysis. In reality, they're just skimming the tip of the iceberg. They only see the visible data: official pricing pages, a handful of top 10 Google results, public product catalogs, and assume that's enough to judge the market. It isn't. That's a fragment. You don't see local promos, personalized pricing by country, or which creative competitors are actually running. That's not competitive analysis, that's a one-dimensional snapshot. Mistake number 2, ignoring geo-variation. Prices in Spain, the US, and Poland can differ by 15 to 30%. If all your requests come from one region, you'll never notice. For an analyst, that means a false baseline. For the business, it's the wrong call on discounts or positioning. Mistake number 3, zero observability. You see a dip in analytics and have no idea why. A chunk of requests never reaches the target. Blocks, CAPTCHAs, and site refusals. Without logs and per-endpoint policies, you can't explain where the pipeline is failing. Specialists burn hours on manual debugging, and managers get distorted metrics. Mistake number 4, stale or bought data. Teams lean on third-party reports collected a week ago, which in e-commerce and ads is already ancient history. Old data isn't just inaccurate, it's expensive. Every invalid request raises your CPVR, cost per valid response. You pay more and get fewer real results. So yes, the company does competitive analysis, but it's making decisions in the fog. Bad pricing from partial data, blind spots from missed geo differences, ad spend without impact because campaigns rest on assumptions. And the worst part? They have no clue how much valuable information stays off camera. Let's see how these blind spots play out across industries. E-commerce. You scrape competitor prices, but without regional IPs, you only see part of the market. Say the US regional discounts, local currencies, European promos, gone. You lose about 20 to 30% of price data, and updates lag by a day or two. Add residential proxies to see the site as a buyer in any country, and scale with data center proxies. The result, about 25 to 30% more valid price entries and faster reactions to competitor moves. SEO. Without local proxies, your SERP results reflect just one region. Google personalizes by GEO, so your visibility is skewed. You might think the client is top of page, while in another country, they're not even on page 1. Typically, that's a 20 to 40% gap between reported and real positions. Add ISP or DC proxies with precise GEO control to see results exactly as local users do. Accuracy and request stability go up. Ads. It's even trickier here. Without proxies, you only see creatives available in your office country. The rest stay invisible. Often 30 to 35% of impressions go unverified. Bring in mobile and residential proxies to verify ads as users see them in Singapore, France, or Brazil. That cuts blind spots to around 10 to 15% and increases trust in your reports. Figures are indicative, not guarantees, but the pattern is real. AI platforms. Model quality depends on dataset completeness. Without stable access, pages block or error out. You typically lose 25 to 30% of potential data. Route collection through proxies with controlled policies, retries, GEO balancing, compliant traffic, and the volume of valid data grows. For example, dataset completeness can rise 20 to 25%, and duplicate or broken sources can be cut in half. Again, not a promise, an illustration of what stable infrastructure does. Proxy infrastructure delivers that completeness by combining residential, mobile, ISP, and data center proxies tuned to each job. Even if the improvements are just in the tens of percent, at millions of requests, that's the difference between actual analytics and pure intuition. Across all these examples, the cause is the same. The data collected is incomplete. The issue isn't your analysts or your tools, it's access to the sources themselves. So how do infrastructure-minded teams fix this at the system level? Modern competitive analysis starts with automation, real-time web scraping. Pipelines collect prices, rankings, ads, and catalogs hourly. But collecting isn't enough. You must control what you collect, how often, and how valid it is. That's the line between chaos and a system. Next comes observability. The team sees what happens to every request, where responses drop, which endpoints block, how access policies change. Without that, you just send traffic and have no idea why data disappears. With observability, you see not just the error but the cause. Block type, GEO, provider, site policy. Then you can reroute quickly, cut retries, and stabilize VRR, the valid response rate. And none of this works without the proxy layer, the piece that makes your data complete. Proxies let you view sites through the eyes of users in any region, bypass local restrictions, avoid blocks, and reveal what real customers see. Most importantly, this isn't just IP spoofing. It's a layer of control and compliance. Transparent IP origins, residential, mobile, data center, and ISP, managed access policies, automatic adherence to acceptable use rules. You're not just collecting data, you're doing it ethically, reliably, and at scale. Without proxies, you only see part of the market, and usually not the part where real change happens. With the right proxy infrastructure, analysis becomes complete, transparent, and controllable. Every request is traceable and governed. This isn't a technical trick, it's data reliability, the foundation of your business decisions. Most companies are still making calls on incomplete data. Without the full market picture, no analysis is accurate. With proxy infrastructure, you get stable, trustworthy, reproducible collection across regions in real time with full process control. Proxy-Seller is the dependable layer of your stack, observable, ethical, and built to scale. Want to know how complete your analytics really are? Run a short test on your own endpoints and see the difference for yourself. You've been watching the Proxy-Seller channel. Subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dives on data, infrastructure, and analytics.